Chile is a country like no other, not only for its dynamic, narrow size, but also for its strange cultures and practices. Stretching 4,300 kilometers along South America's coast, this country boasts some of the world's most astonishing wonders. From the rainless Atacama Desert, where flowers mysteriously bloom to full splendor, to nude beaches where women are forbidden to wear clothes, this land is full of surprises. Join us as we explore the most bizarre and fascinating facts about Chile. The Clothless Beach. This beach became known in the 1960s as a secluded place where anyone, women included, is forbidden to wear clothes. Anyone could be indeed clad, and it wouldn't be termed criminal. This hidden haven was called Playa Luna, with René Rojas, pioneering Chile's nudist movement at the top. It has witnessed a gathering of nudists for decades, but it was officially known as Chile's only clothless beach in the year 2000. The beach welcomes hundreds of tourists each summer, giving them an environment of enjoyment and freedom, no matter their background or beliefs. Its history can be traced back to the crowded shores of Qua Beach in Horcon during the 90s when nudists were searching for a haven. They ventured to the end of the forgotten stretch once called Playa La Iglesia, which means the church beach. The nudist movement renamed it Luna, and it quickly became the hidden spot for them. Another striking rule on the beach is that everyone must come in pairs. A man must come with a woman's companion. This relaxation area is located south of Maitencillo, 18 kilometers from Concon, along the coastal cliffs of Puchuncaví. It is a relatively hidden territory because it can be accessed either by foot or vehicle through private property at Ruta del Mar in the commune of Puchuncaví, 5th region. Luna measures 500 meters with clear sand. Thus, visitors are advised to wear sneakers and carry a light backpack. Relaxation centers in Chile sure hold historical records. How true is this? World's largest swimming pool. Located in Algarrobo, Chile, the world's largest swimming pool is 700 kilometers from West Santiago. It's 3,323 feet long and stretches over 8 acres. It's called San Alfonso del Mar. It revealed that its water is filtered and treated from the Pacific Ocean, which increased its annual maintenance expenses to $4 million compared to $1.5 billion used for its building. The man credited with its existence is Fernando Fishman. It was opened in 2006 and accessible by hotel guests alone. It has an artificial lagoon. It's so huge that one can't swim across because you can barely see its end. So one will need a kayak to cross because it's more significant than the Olympic swimming pool. The pool is quite exquisite to visit and explore. With its rich blue color and exciting food vans and plazas to enjoy, it's undoubtedly a place to see in a lifetime. It's a vacation spot in a resort with an indoor swimming pool for easygoing adventurers, perfect for relaxation, planning, and enjoyment. It has many excellent facilities, such as the 1,200 homes available for tourists, the Sub-Aqua Cafe Aquarium at the artificial lagoon, and a private, fully furnished and loaded nightclub. It houses another apartment with 60 homes called the Bitacora Building and the Fregata Building, which has 141 apartments. Its beach day club has a spa, retail shop, outdoor jacuzzis, a gym, and a kiosk bar. You can fully enjoy your stay in Chile in this pool with no care or the need to travel to get your necessities as they are brought to you. The Easter Island. This remote island is southeast of the Pacific Ocean, also called Rapa Nui. It's often isolated because it's located at the tip of the Polynesian Triangle in Oceania. The island is known for its triangular shape. It was believed to have been created by 3 extinct volcanoes, Puaik, Ranocao, and Taravaca. The island has a rolling landscape and rocky coastlines. It's believed it was named Easter Island because the Dutch explorer got to it on Easter Sunday. It was known to the world in 1722 through the explorer Jacob Roggeveen and their crew. They described its inhabitants as diverse people due to their physical traits and stone gods. Among them was another species, called white people, due to their elongated earlobes.
Perhaps there is something else going on here. It could well be that a number of different cultures lived on Easter Island.
Historically, Captain Hook and his crew stopped there once during their voyage in 1774. After a ravaging war that reduced the population from 3,000 to 630 people, their statues rumbled. The island is also known for the 1805 slave trials that left the island and its community devastated. The population arose at the end of the 19th century, especially with the settlement of the first Catholic missionary, Brother Eugene Arud, who brought Christianity to the island. The Tahiti settlers also brought agriculture into the community. Easter Island is also known for the first ever volcanic rock and stone statues known as Maui. They are about 100 in number and still standing with different heights and sizes, ranging from 3 to 12 meters. Mauis are known for their large heads, big noses, and ears. These statues were carved from a soft volcanic rock named Tuff from the Rano Raraku crater, famous for a 21-meter-long unfinished statue. While some statues had white tufts, some had red crowns, which weighed about 27 tons. Known as the most remote inhabited island in the world, it was pretty shocking to discover that 7,750 lived on the island, according to the 2017 Chilean census. Its inhabitants are primarily Polynesians, who live in the village of Hangaroa.
So something happened at Easter Island to seriously decrease their population.
Its historical monuments, natural beauty, and archaeological sites give a glimpse of the cultural heritage of both the Polynesian and the Chilean. In 2018, the Rapa Nui Marine Protected Area was established with 740,000 square kilometers to protect the island and its natural heritage. It was a monumental achievement. The island is open to tourists who enjoy shopping, fabrics, and high-end fashion. What opposing sides does it have to it? The Mountain of Clothes. This mountain is known as El Paso de la Mula, located in a city at the edge of the famous Atacama Desert in Chile. Chile imported more second-hand cloth through the port of Iquique for its citizens between 2020 and 2021, so it was unpredictable that the country would house the first-ever mountain of unused fabrics. These clothes were imported from Japan, Bangladesh, and India into the United States, and found their solace in Chile, which is why different famous brands of clothes such as Adidas, Old Navy, Tommy Hilfiger, Zara, and Ralph Lauren were found on the dump. This shows the level of value given to textiles and fashion in Chile. The mountain housed a variety of clothes such as ball gowns, Christmas wear, ski boots, jackets, blouses, etc. Loads of fabrics imported yearly in Chile are up to 59,000 tons. From it, cloth merchants will purchase. Some will be smuggled out to other Latin American countries, and the unsold ones will be scattered all over the dump site. Most of these clothes contain chemicals that aid fire outbursts and volcanic eruptions, just as the one that happened in 2012, witnessed by an explorer and her student, was so terrible that tourists were not allowed near the gates. This led to several speculations about the heat, the air, and the environmental pollution it caused. This mountain is so infamous that many women and children visit there to scan for clothes to wear. Companies have been established to aid in the recycling of clothes. One such company is Ecositex, founded in 2019 by Rosario Hevia. Ecositex is dedicated to transforming discarded fabrics into yarns, a revolutionary step in cleaning up this textile waste. A United Nations report revealed a stark reality in 2019. Global clothing production had doubled between 2000 and 2014. Once seen as a source of style and identity, the fashion industry had become responsible for 20% of the world's water waste, as it takes 7,500 liters of water to craft a pair of jeans. Isn't that shocking? The report added that clothing and footwear manufacturing contributed 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Yet, a garbage truck's worth of clothes was either buried or scattered in landfills, which further adds to the environmental harm. The shocking part is that these discarded clothes were polluting both the air and water, as their toxic chemicals are seeping into underground channels, because synthetic fabrics and chemically treated garments could take up to 200 years to decompose, lingering in the earth as harmful as old tires or plastic. Physical hazards can cost lives and properties. How could one be safe beside the Ring of Fire? A House of Volcanoes. In addition to beautiful places in Chile, another intriguing site is the Pacific Ring of Fire, located near the Andes mountain range. This mountain was formed by water, ice, and volcanic activity, which is prevalent in Chile. Chile is home to over 2,000 volcanoes, the largest volcanic chains in the world, with 90 active volcanoes. With this, it's not new for Chile to experience volcanic eruptions, such as the 2015 Calbuco volcano eruption, with significant global impacts. The Lonquimay volcano is Chile's first recognized geopark by UNESCO, seated in the Pacific Ring of Fire and at about 130 kilometers northeast of Temuco in the Araucanía region. From this site, one can view the nearby volcanoes like Calaqui and Tolhuaca, stunning landscapes, and an 800-meter-long crater. It has a vital historical record for erupting on Christmas Day in 1988, producing a small Christmas crater. The Lama volcano is next, famous for its twin peak, which dominates the landscape within Conguillo National Park. Surrounded by mountains, lakes, and forests, it's noted to be one of the largest and most active volcanoes in South America. The site has a history of 48 eruptions, lava flows, and lahar formation between 1640 and 2009. It's a particular volcanic site because of a ski resort located on its western slopes, Los Paragus, and it has more than 29 square kilometers of glaciers and multiple cone-shaped craters. The Villarrica volcano is also an active volcano, with a 200-mile crater that contains a lava flow with fluctuating levels. Its activity goes far back to around 650,000 years ago, with explosive and effusive explosions. Like the Lama volcano, it has a history of 49 eruptions since 1558, with its recent one in 2015 witnessed a 12-kilometer column of ash and a kilometer-high lava fountain. It also houses a ski center for tourists. Lastly, the Osorno volcano is located within Vicente Pérez Rosales National Park and shares a volcanic chain with La Picada and Puntiagudo volcanoes. It dates back 200 years and is known for both central crater eruptions and flaky activity from parasitic centers. It offers incredible views and challenging steps for cyclists. Finest wine tappers. Among many competitors, Chile has topped the chart for decades for its production and quality of wine. The country has its signature grape species called Carmenere for its production. Along with the challenging phylloxera outbreaks of the 19th century, producers thought the Carmenere grape was gone. However, it was rediscovered in the 1990s in a vineyard in Chile. Thus, its production was revived. Carmenere vines were often confused with Merlot, which was used as a substitute. Still, the mistake was quickly reversed, and total concentration was given to the Carmenere grapes by letting them reach their potential before they were crushed, giving rise to their glamour. In some regions, they produce wines with Pinot Noir and Syrah. Still, its winemaking tradition was supported by other grape varieties, such as Petit Verdot, Bordeaux, Cabernet Franc, and Malbec. Chileans also ventured into white wine production, with Chardonnay leading the charts. It's grown across various climates, giving its unique quality and price range. Alongside Chardonnay is Sauvignon Blanc, which has crisp and vibrant flavors. Other exceptional wines, such as Viognier, have an aromatic richness. Riesling with its refreshing acidity, and the smooth elegance of Semillon, they all add to the tapestry of Chile's white wine. Chile's wine production has existed since European settlers arrived in the 16th century. Catholic missionaries brought grapevines to make the sacrament wine. They came with a particular grape species called País, which became popular and was the primary grape for local wines then. Yet it's still in use today, as it's grown in the Mal and Bio regions by older farmers. However, it's noteworthy that the wealth from mining in the Atacama Desert brought expansion into Chile's wine industry. By the 20th century, the industry had grown so much that it started focusing on international markets and higher quality. The winemaking technique was modernized thanks to the stainless steel tanks and oak barrels introduced in the 1980s. Their wine had such an impact that wine laws were added to their constitution about the use, importation, and exportation of wines. Yet Chile has a variety of wines, which also reflect the people living there. The Mapuches. Though considered a minority group in Chile, Mapuches held up to 1.3 million people, making up the majority of the indigenous inhabitants who reject civilization by still holding on to their ancestral lands and traditions. Initially, they lived in the rural provinces of the 8th and 9th regions before moving to cities like Santiago and Temuco. They have a language, Mapudungun, that is gradually fading, with only 20% left who can communicate with it. They were once referred to as Araucanians and divided into 3 groups: Picunche, Mapuche, and Huilish by Spanish storytellers, but they have come together to be identified as Mapuche. Regardless of their leaders, the Longcos play essential roles. At the same time, their spiritual figure, Machi, who has healing powers, is still greatly feared. The traditional Nguilatun ceremony celebrated in rural areas has found its roots in their urban cities, uniting them in thanksgiving and prayers to the spirits. Their organization has become more visible in Chilean politics, standing first on their demands for negotiations with the state instead of yielding to separatism. Mapuches were once relegated to agriculture, fishing, hunting, animal rearing, especially guinea pigs, and farming, growing corn, beans, potatoes, squash, etc. Their transportation system was to use llamas to carry loads of wool. Then, a man's wealth was measured by his herd of llamas. However, as time passed, many started pursuing education to become teachers and civil servants. They were known for their 350-year resistance against Spanish and Chilean rule. They adapted their traditional methods to fight for their independence from Spanish rule. Even when Chile got her independence and was forced to live off loans, they still refused to yield to colonization. However, they were smart enough to join politics early. With organizations like the Sociedad Caupolicán, Federación Araucana, and Unión Araucana, founded with different aims in the 1910s and 1920s, Mapuches got a higher chance and representation. So much so that they'd won municipal council and Congress seats by 1950. The Salvador Allende government in 1970 gave them hope as his administration passed an indigenous law recognizing the unique culture of Mapuches and the need to restore their communal lands. However, they were further divided under Pinochet's dictatorship, which led to the murder of many Mapuche leaders. Yet they remained resolute and determined. They got their chance at the 500th anniversary of Columbus's arrival in America, which was held in Santiago. The Mapuche leaders called for cultural autonomy and territorial rights, which were finally grafted into the ILO Convention 169 in 2008, a victory for the Mapuche after several years of struggle. The Mapuche story resonates with bravery and firmness in their beliefs, lands, culture, and future. But regardless, what future does the country see with its natural inhabitants of penguins? The land of the penguins. Contrary to movies and general beliefs, penguins don't exist only in Antarctica, but in remote areas such as the southern coast of Chile. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN Chile has 5 penguin species: king, Humboldt, emperor, Magellanic, and macaroni. With tens of thousands of penguins, the natural landscape of South America is being preserved. Except for the king penguin, All are vulnerable to threats like oil spills, overfishing, and climate change. The king penguin is the world's second-largest species, with its vibrant yellow, black, orange, and white colors making it resemble royalty. In 2010, a notable colony was discovered in a bay on Terra del Fuego Island. The Magellanic are the largest example of their species. They were named after the explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who found them in 1520. They habitually swallow salty water and filter the saltiness through a gland in their eyes. They are pretty vulnerable to killer fish, floods, and oil spills. The emperor penguins are the largest and most fearful of all. Their height is up to 120 centimeters long, and their weight is 45 kilograms. Though they share similar colors with king penguins, they are occasionally sighted in Chile. The Humboldt penguins are of medium size, and like Magellanic penguins, Humboldt was named after the naturalist Alexander von Humboldt. They are about 18 inches long and 10.4 pounds in weight. They are different with their white and black color pattern, with their head and eyes mainly black and a U shape on their chest. They feed on melts and anchovies and can live up to 20 years. The macaroni penguins are distinct for their yellow-orange crown and red eyes. It's believed that Chile houses penguins due to its proximity to Antarctica, as they can swim well in the waters. However, Chile has set up natural reserves and facilities to protect these birds, even going as far as rejecting a $2.5 billion iron mining project in 2017. The question is, were they worth it? As much as preserving its sports culture. Chilean football culture. Chile has a strong connection with football, which has captivated the country, attracting thousands to watch and bet on their favorite teams. Although rodeo is the officially recognized national sport, football is notably the most popular. This is evident with Chile being a member of the FELFA, having participated in 8 World Cup tournaments, and taking 3rd place when they hosted the 1962 FIFA World Cup. The country's national football team had made some achievements by reaching the Copa America finals 4 times, earning 2 bronze medals at the Pan American Games and just 1 in the 2000 Summer Olympics. Also, their youth team has been recognized for finishing 3rd in FIFA's Under-17 and Under-20 tournaments. The English brought football to Chile in the 80s through trade, with English sailors playing the sport on their ships and on shore. This caught the attention of Chileans living nearby, and soon, word spread around. Wealthy families took the lead, but all social classes were later involved, bringing unity among diverse people with different backgrounds. This led to the forming of the first football team, Valparaiso Football Club, in 1892. It was a significant moment in Chilean football history, as players could play official matches, wear team uniforms, and travel to play with other clubs. Plus, the public who watched football now had teams to cheer for. The national football team was later formed in the early 1990s. They played their first match in 1910. From then on, they've grown to achieve tremendous results. After that, Chile can help establish the South America Football Confederation, CONMEBOL, which has been renamed Copa America. They are involved with teams across South America, including countries like Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia. It's grown to become one of the continent's premier football events. Therefore, the football culture has etched its significance in the hearts of many and into Chilean culture. Unique cuisines. A notable blessing Chile's diverse climate and geography gives is its rich variety of ingredients used in its foods. It's believed that its long coastline massively influences its cuisine by providing an ideal environment for some ingredients to grow. Also, its mix of different cultures helps shape its food, with local food passed down by the Spanish and immigrants from Germany and France. Thus, Chile has some dishes to try, starting with its national dish, cazuela. Cazuela is a hearty soup made with meat, either chicken, beef, or lamb, along with corn, potatoes, and vegetables. It's a warming dish filled with nutrition. It is especially loved in winter. To enjoy it, you must drink the broth before enjoying the added solid ingredients. It earned its name from the shallow earthenware pot in which it is cooked. Next is pastel de choclo. Though its name may suggest a chocolate-infused cuisine, it is a meat pie with a sweet corn crust and a popular comfort food in Chile. To make the corn crust, mix the corn with butter and basil, then spread it over a filling of beef, onions, olives, and hard-boiled eggs. Then come the empanadas, the famous Latin American baked or fried pastries. In the mold of a parcel, it's typically baked and known for its square shape with folded edges. Its filling can be cheese-based or ground beef with onions, eggs, black olives, and raisins. Next is the versatile, spicy sauce that goes with bread, meat, and fish. Pebre. The spice is from chili peppers, and coincidentally, the word pebre means pepper. Its ingredients are oil, vinegar, onions, garlic, and cilantro. It can come either in a chunky or smooth texture. Churrasco and chacarero. While churrasco is a steak sandwich made with thinly grilled sirloin on a soft bread roll, chacarero is a local dish with ingredients like green beans, tomatoes, and jalapenos. Churrasco has different versions based on added ingredients. Complete was introduced in the 1920s to Chile. It's quite bigger than the American version. It's a hot dog served on toasted bread, topped with pickles, onions, tomatoes, sauerkraut, and a generous amount of mayonnaise. As its name sounds, it's sure to leave you completely satisfied. Humitas is similar to Mexican tamales. It's made from ground corn wrapped in corn husk and boiled. It always comes with side dishes like pebre sauce or onion tomato salad. Next is ensalada a la chilena, a basic yet distinct salad of tomatoes and onions that represents the red and white colors of the Chilean flag. The onions are thinly sliced and soaked in water to reduce their sharpness, while the tomatoes are salted to enhance uniformity and flavor. Cilantro can be added to garnish. Chupe is one of Chile's tastiest dishes. It's a creamy seafood-based stew made with shrimp. It's usually served in an earthen bowl, which makes it easier to dip in bread. It's traditionally made with corn, onion, vegetables, and milk for richness. Sibarquican is a traditional stew made with dried meat, but can be used as a substitute. It contains potatoes, squash, peas, pumpkin, and sometimes fried eggs. And finally, pan de Pascua is a rich fruitcake, usually made for Christmas. It's filled with dried fruits, nuts, and species, often paired with cola de mono, a traditional Chilean holiday drink. Art has entries to express oneself, and a core one is dance because it entrenches deeply into the culture of the people. Qua The Courtship Dance. Another amazing fact about Chile is its national dance, which is called cueca. Just as art transforms minds and lives, dance can imitate people's culture and lifestyle. La cueca chilena originates from a Peruvian dance called zamacueca. It was introduced in the 1820s and was gradually adopted by the Chileans. Though it draws from zamacueca, it has different dances and musical genres, notably in Chile. The dance has been shaped by many influences from America, Europe, and Arabic Andalusian dances. Chile declared its official national dance in 1979, though it has lingered in Chilean culture for decades. Though it comes in variations, the general rule is that it's played with a partner, using colorful handkerchiefs for fun. It relies on the audience's claps to keep up the rhythm. Instead of games like three-legged races or hot dog eating contests you see at many barbecues, the narrative changes with Chilean barbecue. Instead of games, it turns into a family circle of clapping SS pairs, taking turns dancing in the middle. A fascinating thing about this national dance is that it's included in the children's curriculum, from a young age to the high school level. So, while older couples perform the traditional Chilean cowboy style with handkerchiefs, teenagers will dance with napkins, trying to master the figure-8 steps. While dancing, the movement mimics the relationship between a rooster and a hen due to the hand, hip, and body gestures. It shows romantic interactions, which is why it's often called the rooster courtship dance. La cueca is one of the most popular musical genres in Chile. It has 52 measures, known as pi, which lasts about 1 minute and 20 seconds, with dancers performing 3 pies for a song. The themes in the dance are diverse but poetic. Its lyrics talk about traditions, romance, and the struggles of the poor living in urban areas. With its poetic inclination, it sure gives a glance into the poetic heritage of the country. The Land of Poets. This title indeed has a reason and a root in Chilean culture. In a country filled with good cuisines, coastlines, and monumental sites, it is sure to awaken the poetic strength of an interested individual. It's also believed that Chileans named their country the Land of Poets because of the long history of poets, with 2 of them winning the Nobel Prize, Gabriela Mistral and Pablo Neruda. Also, at a poetry convention, over 20,000 Chileans were interested in listening to and learning from other poets worldwide. Indeed, Chile is a country rich in poetic traditions, and it also has notable figures who express the country's beauty and challenge through their rhythmic, poetic verses. Alonso de Ercilla was a Spanish power who wrote an epic poem about the bravery of the Mapuches, clearly describing its unique landscapes and indigenous inhabitants. The poem was written in 1969, entitled La Araucana. It was responded to by the poem Arauco Domado, written by Pedro de Oña, who was considered Chile's first poet. His poem was commissioned by a captain who felt Alonso's poem didn't represent him well, Captain Garcia Hurtado de Mendoza. Another literary figure was Gabriela Mistral, who rose to be one of Chile's most significant poets. Her career was also crucial as she contributed as an educator and diplomat across Latin America as she worked in many countries, such as Mexico, the United States, and Puerto Rico. Mistral was the first Latin American to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1945. She continued to achieve incredible feats in her career till her passing. 3 trio poets arose during political unrest in Chile in the 1930s, and their work reflected the current state of the country then: Pablo Neruda, Vicente Huidobro, and Pablo de Roca. They stood on their different beliefs and crafted poems to enhance them. Huidobro pioneered a movement that was the highlight of his poetry, De Roca, aimed at social decline, particularly the rise of fascism and Stalinism in his work. At the same time, the famous Neruda poem, Canto General, became so epic and essential that one poem from his collection was turned into music by the Chilean band Los Jaivas in 1981. He also won the Nobel Prize in 1971. Another relevant fellow was Nicanor Parra, known for his unconventional understanding and style of writing poems. He reshaped Chilean poetry with his concept of anti-poetry, which rejects traditional poetic norms. Though criticized, he remains an influential figure in Chilean literature. It's not enough to rise and blossom. Location and survival are equally important. Let's visit the flowers in the desert. Flowers bloom in the desert. The Atacama Desert, located north of Chile, is known as the driest place on Earth, yet it experiences magnificent occurrences yearly. Just as a rejected stone became the cornerstone, so is the tale of a desert producing beautiful white and purple flowers. This happening is called Desierto Florido, or the flowering desert. It happens under special conditions, which is when the right amount of rainfall and temperature bring dormant desert seeds to life. These flowers bloom yearly in springs, when the El Niño climate brings warm temperatures and increases rainfall in the region. It has occurred numerous times that finally, in 2022, Chile created a new national park in the desert to protect and maintain this natural bloom and the supported wildlife. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.